Relationship question I'm going to answer today. How do I deal with this sense of loss when my partner has made changes in their business that affects me and my business when we previously have done business together because they're putting their focus on other things or someone else? How do I deal with that sense of loss? So that's a very interesting question, very common that happens when it comes to partnerships with people and relationships. So I'm going to answer that in two parts. The first part is how do you handle business and partnerships? And second part is the interesting question. The interesting part of this question is that how do you deal with the relationship part? You're in a relationship with someone whom you're also with doing business with. How do you deal with that? So let me answer the first part. You learned something called resiliency in business. But resiliency, let's define it first. Resiliency is an entity's ability to be able to handle hardships, challenges, whether it's external challenges or internal challenges and changes and diversions. Resiliency is your ability or an entity's ability to bounce back. Why do I say entity instead of you, instead of someone, instead of a company? It's because an entity is whether it's you, the entity you, or the entity your business, the corporation, or whether the entity a large corporation. These are entities. So it's an entity's ability to be able to handle any challenge, problems, circumstances, externally or internally. What is external? External is what happens outside of the company, whether it's a downturn in the market, something happens to the market, something happens to stocks, there's a change that occurs, a culture change or a market change, or you have to make a pivot or a change. A deadly virus happens and the way people do business changes. People don't go to your store. People mainly do their business online. How do you handle that? Internal resiliency is the internal parts of your business. What are these things? Your company, your strategies, your products, what you offer, your employees, your leadership, your executives, your partnerships with people. How do you handle these? How is your business resilient in these aspects? If challenges occur, how do you handle it? Why am I giving you this scenario of a large company when your question is, I'm just in a partnership with my partner? Because business is business. The strategies you have with your business are good general strategies. You have to separate. This is why I'm telling you this. You have to separate business and personal relationship. Yes, they synergize. Yes, they intermingle, but you have to be very clear with your definitions so that you can operate clearly, because clarity is enlightenment. So let's give you some strategies on how to handle your business. What are 3 aspects of your business that will make you more resilient? Number 1, what is your strategic plan? What is your plan for your business that will make you more resilient? Whether it's just you or whether it's you have a bunch of partners, whether you have one partner, whether you have a bunch of employees or a bunch of leaders or a bunch of executives. What is your strategic plan? A plan is very simple. Don't make it complicated. A plan is simply, if this happens, I'll do this. If that happens, I'll do that. If that happens, I'll do this. Simple. Do you have contingencies in place when things occur, when things happen? Or do you have general philosophies to overcome any challenge? Number 2 thing is, what is your company culture? Sure, you want to build a culture, a brand when it comes to your clientele, your audience, or your customers. You have a brand in which is a forward-facing brand, so you can create a culture and how they feel about you. What is culture? Culture is how things are done. That is what a culture is. A culture is how things are done. The internal culture is the culture within your company. How are things done? What are the protocols you have in place with your employees, with your executives, with your leadership, and with your partners? Now, going back to the situation at hand, what is the culture you have with your partner, with your business partner? What is the business culture? What is the company culture? Number one thing I'll give you advice on is, I'm not a millionaire, so take all of this with a grain of salt. I'm not a billionaire. I would not do a partnership entity. The reason why, especially with someone whom you are in a relationship with, the reason why is because when it's a business, it's a lot more simple to divorce with a business partnership. Now, it's gonna be some drama involved, of course, because someone's probably gonna lose in a business partnership, because someone's gonna divert their energy. Because remember that companies, they want to do well for the company. Sometimes in partnerships, what's well and good for one business may not be well and good for the other business. Do you understand? Sometimes for that company to grow, this company holds them back. Do you understand? So they have to divorce. Not divorce in a personal way, but divorce as a partnership structure. Now, the reason why marriages are so troublesome and expensive with lawyer fees and horrible for everyone involved is because a marriage is a business. I want you to remember that for you to be in a loving and happy and wonderful relationship, you don't need a marriage contract. Understand? A marriage contract is simply a business contract. It's a business of exclusivity and resource conjoining into the union entity. Union being not you, not him or her, not them, but everyone involved in that marriage is now an entity. Now the entity is the primary entity that people must work towards uplifting. Not how you feel, not for your betterment, not for his or her or their betterment, for the betterment of the entity involved, whether or not people are respected in that business. Do you understand? This is why divorces are so horrific. When it comes to people you love, you do not do partnership entities. Okay, leaving that alone, what is your risk management? What is your company's risk tolerance? These are things that make you more resilient. So moving along. Number two thing I want to talk about is the relationship aspect. If you are in a relationship fundamentally based on love, by definition, love is your genuine desire and wanting for your beloved's happiness, well-being, and actualization. If they are to divert or move on with their business, whether or not you're involved, this is what love is. You want that for them. You want for their happiness, well-being. Well-being includes the well-being of their business. If you are a detriment to their business or a cap to their business, you will be happy to remove yourself from their business. Do you understand? You know why? It's because you want for their well-being. That's what love is. Love is your genuine desire for their happiness, well-being, and actualization, which includes their business, regardless of your involvement. This is what makes it complicated when you are in a relationship with someone you also do business with. So here's my advice for you. Focus on your business focus on the resiliency of your business. If you want resources from them, recognize that it's a tremendous privilege for you to get any resource from them. You should not take it as already granted to you, because being and feeling taken for granted is the death of that relationship. People that do business with people whom they are in a sexual relationship with inevitably take for granted that they will do business with them, and therefore it's the death of their relationship. It's the death of the relationship, which is why it's good advice not to do business with someone whom you love. But if you're going to do a business with them, do not do a partnership entity. And if they're going to do something with their business in which the focus is your removal from that business, you will want that for them. You want what's best for them, and them includes their business. And if you want mentorship, if you want some allocation of their resources, recognize that it's a tremendous privilege, and that you will ask and you will contract for their service, whether it's mentorship, advice, or allocating resources to your business. That is what you must do. That's my advice for you today. If you have any questions further this topic or any topic, feel free to message me or leave a comment below. If you want my course on relationships, go to greatrelationshipsyou.com. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.